All right, we are here once again with head coach Russell Gaskamp of the Ravens football team. Week 11, I don't have enough fingers to do it.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going to stick something else out.
Yes, that's a problem. But week 11 is at Merrimack. Last week of the regular season. But, Coach, let's talk about Bentley real quick first.
Yeah.
Bit of a rough game at home, but some positive signs. Let's start with the positives. When you gave Drew time to work, the offense was able to move.
Agreed. And I really thought that we had a chance in the first quarter to take momentum of the game. We went down, we moved the ball, fairly well in the first drive, ended up having to punt, they go down and score. Second drive was a 14-play drive, and where we're clicking, making third down conversions, staying on track on first down. But when we play 14 plays, you got to go score, and we just didn't. We missed a double move that was a sure touchdown. We missed some opportunities in that deal, and I felt like had we gone down and made it a game 7-6, we got some momentum. Offense side have some confidence, maybe rejuvenate the defense a little bit, but they go down and immediately score again, and then third series Drew goes down for a period of time in the game, and it was just hard for us to get back on track after that. So.
Right. On the other side, certainly negatives to take away from that as well. I got to imagine you were not real happy with the run defense.
I wasn't. I could tell you that, number one, our defense staff was very aware of that. Our kids were very aware of that. I personally have never been part of a game that we performed so poorly in stopping the run. And we have to look at ourselves first as coaches in that. What position are we putting our kids in to be able to, or to have that lack of success? So I can tell you it wasn't a real easy meeting when I met with the staff yesterday about that. At the same time, kids got to go play with fundamentals and do things the right way. But eventually, you got to take on blocks, shed them, and get off and make tackles. We just did not do that in the game, and so I explained to the guys that they're being evaluated every day. And we got to see who those guys are that want to go try to be able to play physical in the future. We know we have a young team, but I got to see that those guys, that as a player, you're trying to be physical at the point of attack, and that you can shed blocks and get off and make some plays. So.
Right. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about depth as well. Certainly, you go through the things that a normal football team goes through over the course of the season: attrition, players leaving the team of their own free will, asked to leave, injured.
Yeah.
Things that happen with every football team. When you've got a squad that's all freshmen and a little light on the numbers to begin with,
yeah.
What is your depth looking like at this point of the year?
Well, I think you're hitting it on the head. There was times in the game that we were having to get a little bit creative with some guys that we played in some spots. At the same time, you'd like to see guys be able to step up. At least guys that have an understanding of what you're trying to get done on that side of the ball, on the defense side of the ball, understanding the entire scheme. What we really struggled with as much as anything the other day was the run fits and guys being in the proper gaps, and so you'd like to think that if you play next to a certain position, you understand where that run fit is. And we just didn't do a great job of that. But we're having to be a little bit creative right now. I assure you that no one's feeling sorry for us right now. We're not as a staff. I promise you that. And when we grow into that older team, we're not going to feel sorry for the teams when we're doing that to them.
So last week of the season coming up here. We'll talk a little bit more about this next week when we wrap things up with you. But what's the recruiting trail looking like heading into the offseason?
It's been really good. We know that there are certain positions that while we felt like we signed a good first class last year, but there were certain positions that we felt like that we didn't get addressed to the point that you would like to. In general, I'm a guy that likes tight ends. We haven't been able to play with a whole lot of tight ends this year, so we know that's an area of need going into the offseason. Drew's our only scholarship quarterback, so obviously quarterback is going to be an incredibly high priority for us, even as quick as mid-year. But as guys as going into next year, we've got to sign a couple of guys to come in and compete at that position. And then when you're a three down front, you got to have linebackers that can play. I think that's probably the position we've struggled at the most this year, and so we know that not only at the mid-year but going into the future, that linebacker is going to be a real big area of addressment for us. So, but we're we're recruiting good players, and our staff's working hard on that, and we'll be really excited about seeing about the kind of class we can put together here, not only mid-year but at February 4th signing day. So.
Right. So one more time into the breach this week, off to Merrimack. They've gone to Division I this year. That's going to be a tough game on Saturday.
It's going to be a tough game, but again, what I told the guys, I mean, we want to continue to evaluate, make assessments. Our guys, not only growing in their knowledge of scheme, but their level of play. As to what the final score is going to be on Saturday, I don't know, but I do know that that film doesn't lie. The eye in the sky doesn't lie, and we want to see guys playing really super hard. We want to see them continuing to improve. We want to see who those guys are. Who's going to go out there and be competitive against a team that we're going to probably have a hard time being competitive against. And that's just the nature of college football. Sometimes you get matchups like that, and we had plenty of them when I was at Panhandle. The one thing I could say when we did that at Panhandle, the guys played really, really super tough and competed the entire game. So that's what I want to see. I want to see guys do that on Saturday, play their guts out, and then let's get to the offseason, get guys healed up, and start improving for the 2020 year. So.
Safe to say that's the most important thing this week, just the compete level, just be out there. And
I want to see guys play hard. I don't want to see guys feeling sorry for themselves. If we start to get down in the game, I want to see guys play 60 minutes. I want to see guys that are taking things that we're teaching them on film and going and applying it. Even a game like the other day, there was things in the offensive line, for example, that finally a technique that we're teaching, they started doing it and doing it the right way, and it's just another step to grow on and build. And so we want to, regardless of who the opponent is, the focus has to be ourselves and our own self-improvement. So.
All right. He is head coach Russell Gaskamp. The Ravens are off to Merrimack. Week 11. There
you go.
We got it. Week 11 at Merrimack. If you're in North Andover, go give them a look on Saturday afternoon. Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, we'd love to see everyone there and appreciate all the support, during the season from our home crowd. It's been great. So.
Awesome. Great stuff.